So this is Reed Sandberg, by the way. This is a mobile application. Think of it kind of as a mobile phone meter maid. So you're parking downtown. You exit your vehicle, get your smartphone. I'm sure everybody has one of these by now. And it knows your location, and you take the application kind of pops up, and it's kind of the screen you can imagine with kind of an outline of the meter maid, and enables you to kind of snap a photo of it. So that will go to kind of a central information system. It'll recognize where you are and pinpoint the exact location you're at. If you imagine you have an account online, it'll charge you for how long you've been there. So that's pretty much it. As kind of a basic idea. With that comes, of course, a lot of features. The city can keep track of its inventory a little better. If enough people use it, you can actually see if there's free spots available. You kind of a pay for what you use kind of a scenario. You don't have to keep checking back the meter. So just kind of a more advanced meter maid than coin slots, or actually the new ones they have, which are credit cards.
So my one issue is that you still have to work with city governments, which can be an incredible hassle to get anything done. But I could see also you could go for just private garages and stuff, like the parking garages. Develop some technology for them where you just take a picture of your spot, and they mark that spot in their system and they charge for it.
That's right, yeah.
And you could basically license it out to them.
I think that's really good, because I think that they're kind of incorporating something with all these new smart meters anyway, because I saw something on the news of some type of mobile application that allows for you to put more money on your meter, and I'm sure it has other features as well. But so I think that space may have been taken already, because my mom actually had an idea very similar to this called Meter Minder, that she called it, but just a similar concept. But I really like where this gentleman was on to, because I was just driving by a parking garage, and of the how many hundreds that are in San Francisco, and I'm thinking to myself, I see $2 for first hour. I'm like, well, I bet they charge you $15 for the second hour. And I'm thinking to myself, what if there's some type of Groupon type thing, or some type of deal where I know that they have tons of spaces available in this garage, and I know that they're not going to fill all these spaces today. So maybe just give the premium as for during specific events, or when they know that it's going to be a prime time that the garage is going to fill up, charge according to that. But then on the everyday business day that people would need to fill those spaces, provide some type of coupon system, or just some more effective. It's why you guys have to charge out the yin yang on a regular work day when you know that your parking garage isn't going to get filled up.
That's true. That would, if someone had the app, they could then tell easier, where you can actually park in there, because a lot of people don't know, especially
So just a general comment. I want to say at IdeakickSF 5 and maybe 6, or is it 5 and 6 or 4 and 5? There were 2 people in successive weeks, and this was every 2. We were doing it every 2 weeks. I don't know if it was kind of crazy, but they both had concepts for parking. So if you go back and watch those videos, you've got at least 2 other people that are passionate about this same problem.
Another thing is that there are some cities that are the metering system's privatized now, so you may not have to deal with. I know Chicago is one instance of that. I don't know how widely that's being adopted, but it now makes it so that they can run the meters much longer. They don't have the 16. It's basically 24-hour metering now.
My other comment on this is that one of the biggest challenges of this that I've heard about from people that have gone down this path, and I've heard of a number of companies that have tried this, is you've got to get around the problem of the city politicians or municipalities politicians don't want to have to go to the people that currently have the job of meter maid and tell them you don't have a job anymore.
Right.
So
I think
Plus, they also don't want to break into the $100 million, $120 million revenue.
They make a lot of money on
last
parking
year
tickets.
for parking tickets, and it's only getting worse. And,
Right.
and
So-
I'm only hearing more and more people
Right.
get boots on their cars, so it's a source of revenue that they're not in any rush to fix because they're making way too much money. So if somebody could come in and fix it, awesome. But
You won't get there.
I think that the parking garage
I think
that's
market
a good idea.
is a
It's
very
a great
untapped
idea.
resource, and if you're not going to do it, I might have to. So.
Well, do you have any thoughts on like how to solve that economic problem with the cities?
In Copenhagen, no, sorry.
I mean, intuitively, I would actually think it would be the other way. They'd be happy to, not happy, but they would be inclined to lay off people because then they save money. And they have more.
Logically, we would think that.
But
Those
yeah,
people
you're right.
can lay off
You're right.
boats.
There's
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, in Copenhagen there's a system where it was, I think it's called a parkophone or something, and so it's a little bit like that, but not with a photo, but you can call a number and then you
yeah, I've seen
punch in
those.
a code, and you have some kind of account there. I don't know exactly how it works, or you can just call it and dial some code or something.
That's right.
But it's not for each spot, but it could be because you could just have a code for each parking spot. But this is based on some zones. But I like the idea, and especially if you can monitor, you could easily, or you could make it more easy to give the parking tickets because you don't have to check everyone. You can just see if there are some that are taken that shouldn't be taken according to the system, then you know that it shouldn't be there and they should have a parking ticket.
Right. I think it would be easier to pinpoint those, but again, you'd be laying off
Right.
some of the force. So.
I'm here to tell you, if I start getting a parking ticket from some little robot that says, well, you can't park there.
Well, you know what's worse is I got a parking ticket a couple weeks ago outside my girlfriend's house, and I knew I knew the time, so I literally there was a ton of parking available on this block. I literally went to my car and moved it up several, like maybe 2 or 3 spots.
No, that doesn't count.
It
You gotta
didn't
move
count.
to
I
the
had
block.
to move it out the block.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
didn't
move it out the
realize
block.
that.
Can't even switch sides of the street.
I think you're really onto something with the parking garage thing. I had 3 meetings in the financial district, but they were far enough apart that I couldn't walk. So I was literally on my phone, like I shouldn't have been driving, looking up the Portsmouth garage rates and then driving around in a circle to figure out which was going to have the best rate. Now the Metreon has a sensor already to tell you which spots are available.
Yeah.
So that might be a good jumping off point to like link it to that technology and sell it to the other garages to say, okay, if you're not full, maybe reduce your prices, and then this app will tell people who are driving around in the city looking for a spot that you have spots,
Right,
that they're
that's
less
great.
expensive, you know.
It's Santa Monica too.
Yeah, just down the block, you save
Exactly.
$5.
Yeah.
I would have been all over that today.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so there was a company that tried kind of like
Exactly.
what you're talking about in, I want to say 06. It was called Spot Scout. They had they were featured on CNN and a couple other news outlets. The problem they had at that time was that the smartphone penetration was not there in 2006 like it is today to do that. So I think today, if you were to try this, I think you'd have a much different outcome.
Yeah.
And one other thing you could think about that'd be really quick to do is just paying for parking garages via cell phone. Just so you can charge your service provider, because you can do that with cell phones.
Do what now?
So basically, just have them charge like your Verizon account or
Oh,
something.
sure, yeah.
So you could just like, you literally don't even need to build very much. You just sell it to them as just something that lets them charge their thing instead of paying by credit card.
That's true. Yeah, instead of-
What about adding a function like open table for parkings?
Yeah.
You go downtown and you say, I want to book, I want to book your parking.
That's kind of like what she was saying, right?
Yeah. Make a
8 p.m.
reservation.
to 9
Yeah.
p.m. I want
Yeah.
to book that. If I don't come, I pay.
Wow.
But I want to book
That's a
it.
great
Ah.
idea.
It is good.
That's
There's
really
a
There
lot
should be a
of
discount
Like a
for
room,
parking
like a-
in the
It's
area.
like
In
an outlier,
advance,
it's like a
yeah.
hotel.
Yeah, because the garages are getting smarter. This one in Santa Monica, I went down during the summer, and it wasn't even built yet. And when I just went back like 2 months ago, and it was built, most advanced garage I've ever been in. They had like above, they had lights on each space, red if it was taken, green if it wasn't. So it's like I don't have to sit there and drive really slow. I know way down the way if there is one available. And then they had little cameras, individual cameras on each space focused on your license plate. So if you forgot where you parked, you can type in your license number. and it'll tell you where you parked.
Wow.
That's a lot of technology.
Isn't that
That's
cool?
incredible.
I was impressed. And they had like at the first couple spots where there was a Chevy Volt parked in there, plugged in. It was cool. I took a picture.
But if that system was integrated with a bigger system with many garages and parking spots,
Oh,
on
boy.
it, it would be
And you're
even
onto
better
something.
for
There you go.
the use.
Efficiency, I love it.
Yeah, great ideas, thanks.
Awesome. Well, sounds like we like this one.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.